Howdy folks, Jambareeqi here. In the 90s, Elmo from Sesame Street was the biggest thing around. He was a commercial giant because kids loved him so much. And in 1999, Elmo got his own movie. In the adventures of Elmo in Grouchland, Elmo's special blanket has ended up in the world of Grouchland, and he must go on an adventure to find it. Elmo finds out that his blankie has been stolen by the evil thief Huxley, who takes whatever he wants from everyone in Grouchland, with help from his bug minions. Elmo must journey to Huxley's hideout to rescue his blanket, but the bugs keep finding ways to divert him. Meanwhile, Elmo's friends go into Grouchland but end up in jail for asking for help, which is a big no-no in Grouchland. To be honest, I can imagine kids loving this film. The reason why Elmo is considered to be the most popular character on Sesame Street is simply because he's so relatable for little kids. Elmo's personality is designed to replicate the quirks and mannerisms of real kids. So toddlers can see themselves in him, a kindred spirit to connect with. Elmo's attachment to his blanket is something that all children can resonate with. Most small kids have their special security toy that makes them feel safe, so while adults may see Elmo's lost blankie as underwhelming drama, kids can completely understand the weight of Elmo's loss. This is Robbie Rabbit, a teddy that my great-grandma knitted for me when I was born. As you can see, he's gotten quite old. But when I was a toddler, I was really attached to him. I would bring him everywhere because I saw him as a source of comfort and security. I would have been really upset if I would have lost him. So, the child in me grasps the despair that Elmo feels after losing his blankie. I completely understand. But I do feel as if that the film missed an opportunity to teach children that material items aren't everything, and that they should appreciate more important things too. Oh, and Robbie is missing stuffing from his neck, so he kind of walks like this now. As for Elmo's adventure itself, it's pretty fun for what it is. The bugs keep laying obstacles in the way and hindering Elmo's journey. So there's always some new task, conflict, or challenge in the way for our fluffy red hero. Sure, Elmo can sometimes lose hope, but this uncertainty shows how human he is. At the end of the day, he's just a little kid, and it's still inspiring to see the guy actually go all the way by himself. The only thing that bugs me is that whenever Elmo is in danger on his adventure, the movie will stop and Bert and Ernie will come on screen to assure the kids that everything is fine. Look, I love Bert and Ernie, they're genuinely funny characters, but having them frequently disrupt the film shows a level of unconfidence on the filmmaker's part. This reluctance to let the peril play out indicates that the creators are too afraid of scaring kids, which begs the question, why put Elmo in danger in the first place if you're so afraid of upsetting children? Kids love a good story, and putting the hero at risk adds excitement to the tale being told. If I watched this as a kid, I would possibly get fed up of Bert and Ernie constantly interrupting my Elmo story. I guess Bert and Ernie's comforting disruptions are helpful for more sensitive kids, but it comes at the cost of irritating the braver ones and parents forced to watch the film with their kids. The film also has Elmo interacting with the audience. Now, I said that this kind of fourth wall breaking didn't work in the Oogie Loves, but you know what? Elmo actually pulls off the interactivity element entirely through the charm of his character. He seems sincerely caring and affectionate towards the audience watching. He's so polite and sweet to us that it's hard to get annoyed at him for asking us to interact. It does also try to implement the interactivity into the story itself, asking the audience to take part in the actual conflicts he's facing, like when he's made to do 100 raspberries under 30 seconds. And you know what? I actually joined in because Elmo asks so nicely.
How can Elmo do this? How can Elmo do this? Oh, wait. Can you please help Elmo do raspberries like this?
So, what about the movie's lesson on sharing? You see, at the start of the film, Elmo is hesitant to share his blanket with his friend Zoe. They argue over it and it ends up getting ripped. Then, when Elmo meets Huxley, a greedy and selfish thief, Elmo actually sees himself in the villain. Now, I have to say that Elmo's behaviour is vastly different to Huxley's, and I think it's unfair to draw a comparison. Huxley is a greedy thief who is stealing other people's properties, while Elmo is simply setting boundaries for his personal possessions. Let's stop and analyse this scene for a moment. Zoe picks up Elmo's blanket without asking. Elmo seems genuinely upset about someone else touching something special to him, and even when he asks for it back, Zoe rudely ignores him. I know the film means well, but Elmo's scenario is a poor example of teaching sharing. Elmo shouldn't be forced to share his special blanket with other kids if he doesn't want to. I mean, do we grown-ups feel obligated to share our mobile phones, credit cards, or cars with other adults just because they want a turn to use them? No! So I'm afraid that the film's sharing lesson falls flat and could send the wrong message to kids. There's a difference between demonstrating the value of compromise and insinuating that everyone is entitled to have a go at other people's properties, even if the owner feels uncomfortable. Maybe instead of using the blankie as an example, Elmo could have been using a public slide and refused to let anyone else have a go. That would be a better example of poor sharing, because other children would be entitled to go on the slide too, as it's there for everyone to use. It's not Elmo's personal property. Anyway, let's focus on a positive next. The songs. The songs in this film are actually pretty okay. Nothing memorable or stellar, but there's some production value in each track, and the numbers have their own individual styles.
Something old, something new, something borrowed, something borrowed. Things that once belonged to you, like this plastic telephone pole. I love this highway traffic. Oh, this wedding cake for John Jake, this ring, this giant rubber snake, this Chippendale, don't let it break!
It's true. Love is a many splintered thing. I see a kingdom shining bright, and if you try, then you can see it too. Yeah.
I never dreaded the musical numbers in this film, because there's something fun about each one. I think kids will love these songs, because they're very catchy, beaming with personality and full of energy. So what about the puppetry for this movie, the focus of this review series? Keep in mind this movie's puppeteering crew is mainly made up of the best of the best. Many Jim Henson Muppeteer veterans worked on the film, and it really shows. The puppet performances are incredibly vivid and expressive, relying on imaginative ways to bring these inanimate characters to life. Muppets can't blink and their mouths aren't very flexible, so it's impressive how their puppeteers can contort these characters into pulling off distinct emotions despite the limitations. This film is mainly a showcase for puppeteer Kevin Clash, a super talented guy who had been helming Elmo since the 80s. He was the fifth person to play Elmo on Sesame Street, but he made the character famous through his unique take on the puppet. Clash ignites Elmo's bouncy personality with heartfelt love and affection. He uses clever, subtle puppeteering to really capture the innocence of a child. I encourage everyone to check out the documentary Being Elmo, A Puppeteer's Journey to see how amazingly skilled Clash is. His life story is also very inspiring. The film also includes some guest live-action actors, Mandy Patinkin and Vanessa Williams. I really must applaud them both. They embrace the tone of the movie perfectly and keep the young audience in mind. They have fun, don't feel afraid to be silly or childish, and treat the puppets like they're actually there. I like that they understand the material and are willing to alter their acting styles for the sake of the film's genre. To conclude, The Adventures of Elmo in Grouchland isn't a great film by any stretch of the word. It can be patronising, and it does mess up its lesson on sharing. However, Elmo makes for an adorable hero who's relatable to kids, there are a few funny moments that did make me laugh, and the film does have a sense of adventure. I can imagine very small children being entertained by what the film has to offer, but I will admit that the film's poor lesson on sharing could be misleading. Sure, many adults are going to find this film to be annoying and patronising, which I completely understand, don't get me wrong, but I have a soft spot for anything Sesame Street related, so this film has become kind of a guilty pleasure to me. I've been Jambareeqi and I hope that you enjoyed this review. If you did, then please consider supporting me on my Patreon. With enough patrons, I can start making episodes of Puppet Panic every single week, which would be so cool, and I know that you guys would appreciate that. Feel free to subscribe to my channel and also check out my website jambareeqi.com, which offers written reviews of lots of movies I've not talked about on my YouTube channel. I've already written reviews of the Hotel Transylvania films, The Adventures of Prince Ahmed, Ballerina, Tom and Jerry Blast Off to Mars, Batman Beyond: The Return of the Joker, and many others. So, what am I going to be reviewing for the next episode of Puppet Panic? Well, it's time to get high and check out Evil Bong. Cheerio, folks.